Your communities. At the community level is where jobs are created, and citizens need to work, citizens need to have careers, they need to self-actualize. And so trying to link those two, I think, is important also because in many cases, donors are here to support this process, but we also want to strengthen economic ties with the country. Ukraine is opening up to global markets. EU, Canada just signed a free trade agreement. So there's interest in having a decentralized, stable society so we can work together in political goals and economic goals and social and cultural goals. And so all of this comes together in a very, very complex dynamic where it sort of forces us to come together and think through these processes from a social perspective, economic, and obviously political. I want to just quickly, as I have like 2 minutes, to ask you to imagine a scenario, imagine a story. Imagine a big, relatively young country. It's divided, it's a big country, divided across the country, east and west. East and west, you have different cultures, you have different histories, you have different languages, different political systems, different economic strengths. It's a country with a very, very strong neighbor who has much greater military might, much greater economic might, much greater political might, and the country's at war. Could you imagine such a place? Well, I'm not speaking about Ukraine, I'm speaking about Canada. This is our position about 150 years ago, before we reached independence. And when I was thinking about the scenario of Ukraine right now, I thought, oh my God, that was my country 150 years ago. Our neighbor was America. We're now friends. The stronger, mightier neighbor was America. And we were divided across the country, east and west. We had 2 empires, neither of which we wanted. We had French and British. And we were battling to get rid of them, and we were battling the Americans not to come in and take over in the middle of our chaos. And so I thought, okay, that's process, because we were highly centralized within 2 empires, and we managed to break away and find our own. And why? And so this is something actually was said earlier by Mr. Stanowski. It's at the level of people, and this is why the municipal decentralization matters so much, because in the Canadian context, the people at this time came together and formed, they wrote their own constitution. They formed the institutions that were going to need to govern the country, to set up the different governance structures, social, political, economic structures that would build the country. And so many of you are from NGOs, you're from media, and these play key roles from the bottom up, because as I said earlier, this is not just a top-down process, and Mr. Stanowski said that as well, it's from the bottom up, and so this is why we're here to have the conversation, and why most of the donor programs are working at the local level to do that. Thank you.